Hello, everyone. I'm Sharita Williams, podcast host of I've Got This Kid. We are continuing on the Create Together series, and this is going to be our final creation. I'm so sad. Have you guys been having a great time? Me too. So while this is going to be our last time in this series creating together, maybe, I don't know, maybe what do you guys think? We'll come up with some other stuff for the people?
Yeah.
Yeah? You guys been having fun? Oh, by the way, duh. Who are you guys? Who are you?
Hannah.
And who are you?
Christian.
And these are my kids. And so today, big moment, like huge, epic. I'm going to let them make Play-Doh with me for the first time. Usually, I make it by myself because I like to contain the mess. And you can see they don't like that, but they're like the proud recipients of this stuff. So I don't know why they're mad, but I'm going to let them do this with me. So if it's a total disaster, guess what? That should be motivation and encouragement for you guys to do it with your sugars as well, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to connect by creating. And so that's what we're going to do. All right, so Christian, tell us what we have on your side.
Water, salt, and vegetable oil, and red food coloring.
Exactly. And so we have, again, we don't have measuring cups, but these are all, this is 1 cup, this is 1 cup, this is 2 teaspoons, and with the food coloring, we're just going to kind of do our thing with that. And Hannah, what do you have on your side?
We have cornstarch and 3 cups of flour.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly right. And so we actually have 2 tablespoons of the cornstarch. That might be a little bit more than 2 tablespoons, but we're going to play with it because the recipe calls for gradual. Now, my other Play-Doh recipes are recipes that I use on the stove. So this is actually my first time as well using a recipe that's cookless or without being cooked. So we're going to start with our ingredients on Christian's side. Christian, would you like to go ahead and pour the salt into our container?
That's a lot of salt.
That is a lot of salt. Can you imagine?
That's a lot of sodium.
It is. It is.
No, remember when we were little, we used to try to, once we were done, when we were playing with it, we always stuck our fingers in our mouths, and we were like, it's salty!
Yes. So what I like about this making your own Play-Doh is, for one, you will automatically notice that the consistency is way better than regular Play-Doh, and it doesn't smell like regular Play-Doh.
And the regular Play-Doh has weird smell.
Yeah, it's not the best smell. I don't actually enjoy it. They don't enjoy it either.
Guess what's happening right now? The salt is spreading throughout the liquid.
Do you want to stir it?
Yep.
Okay. Light, gentle stir.
I got it.
You got it. So
It's really watery.
it is very watery, but that is going to soon change. And we're supposed to put the food coloring in there. Man, I'm going to let you do that.
Hard.
Go hard? You want me to do it or you want to do it?
Oh.
Don't squirt me, don't squirt me, don't squirt me.
Oh, dang. This is dark.
We all have a tendency to be a little bit accident prone in my house, and so I'm paranoid about this food coloring situation.
Whoa, this is really red.
I like that color.
I'm gonna get over it for this. So here we go.
Oh, you went heavy on it.
Yeah.
I like it red. I like it.
Okay,
red.
now you're splashing, buddy. So
That's enough, probably.
you think so?
Uh-huh.
Well, it said you want to make it as deep of the
Now
color
that
as you
looks
want.
pretty to me.
That looks pretty red to you
Yeah, that
guys?
looks nice.
All right.
Especially when you
I
can
would
see
squirt
the
the whole
salt.
thing in there. I have no
Especially when
self-control.
you can see the salt. Look at the salt. Look at the salt.
And the salt looks like, you know how that, what is it called? Kool-Aid. It looks like
It
Kool-Aid.
does look like Kool-Aid, but this is not delicious.
Yeah, no, that's nasty.
So what's cool about this stuff, too, is that it's non-toxic. You could have kept stirring with me.
Actually, we should add some more. Yeah.
You want to do more?
No.
No more?
It's
Okay.
really dark.
Okay, we're going to start gradually adding the flour.
Oh, look at all that flour.
I took off my wedding ring for this because I was like, I don't want to diet. I don't want to find out the hard way. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Hannah, you want to do the second?
Yeah, sure.
Whoa.
Christian, you keep stirring because the recipe called for gradual stirring.
I am.
All right.
See, I am.
Okay, you don't have to.
It looks like ice.
There we go.
It looks like
Can I try to stir?
Absolutely.
so.
It looks like
It feels weird.
Is it getting thicker?
Yeah.
Okay. Something's happening. I think I'll add some cornstarch at this point. You keep stirring.
Okay.
And I imagine at some point we're going to have to start kneading because, well,
It's
I don't-
Play-Doh. You have to knead.
you're going to have to knead it together to get all the lumps out. If I was thinking about it, I probably would have sifted the ingredients.
It already looks like Play-Doh.
Is it getting harder to stir?
Yeah.
Good. Then we're on our way.
Yay, we're almost making Play-Doh.
Isn't this so exciting?
Yeah.
It's pretty red. I'm going to show you guys. It's looking pretty red.
Yeah, it is.
It's starting to feel like the consistency. Let's start using our hands now.
No,
Of course she says that. So Mahana,
it's a really dirty girl. I don't really like it.
Yeah, I like to get my hands messy.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, no.
accident prompt. You see what I mean? I was attacked. Brutally attacked. I'm
By
taking one for the
flour.
team.
Oh my goodness.
We got to vacuum.
Sorry, mommy.
Mhm.
This
It
is
looks
my.
more pink. We need to add some more.
Yeah.
No, it's too late. I kept saying.
Oh my goodness, why do we do that?
My hand.
Crying on the
I thought
inside.
it would say that.
Okay, stop. So now at this point, I think I'm going to take it out of the bucket
Yay!
Yay!
and start kneading it and
Yes.
adding
Yes.
the flour in. You know what? Go ahead and take a third of it.
Ew, it feels so weird.
Oh yeah, that feels
Take a third. Take a third. Everybody take a third.
That feels good. I'm just gonna.
That's the smallest third I've ever seen in my life. What is that? This girl.
It feels so good. Oh,
It feels so
So
good.
if you can see it from here,
I like this.
I think you should see it.
It's squishy.
The consistency is actually really good.
Here.
I'm gonna add more flour.
Ooh,
Hey, it actually smells like
You can do
Play-Doh.
whatever you want with it. It
It
doesn't
actually
really matter.
smells
You
like.
can play cooking with it.
Oh, this actually
It
feels
looks
like.
so pink. I did
I
not want
love
the color
Play-Doh.
pink.
And I'm gonna just keep
It's-
kneading this through.
Should I add some more flour?
It smells like flour. It smells like flour.
It does smell like flour. And the cool part about this is
It's so squishy.
you can have the kiddos, depending on their ages, participate in the measuring part. You can have them participate in obviously the making. If you're working on following instructions and they need a little bit more support with the following instructions, just do hand over hand with them. So let's give an example.
Wow.
That is very cool. Let's give an example of hand over hand. So hand over hand is if I take Christian's hand and he's holding something, but I put my hand over his to kind of help support him and make sure that he follows through, but I still have full control over what it is that he has. Thank you, Christian, for being a volunteer. So you can also work on, again, following directions. You can also talk about chemical reactions, like, well, what happens when the water and the salt mix together? The salt dissolves, right? So there's a little bit of science in that. So there's a lot of things that you can do out of this fractions. You take a third, I take a third, and let's see what happens and see how they kind of respond and see if somebody's been playing their fractions.
Oh, actually, wait. This one is this. If you add more flour, then it gets less sticky.
Yes, and that's why I'm adding more flour to mine because it's a little bit more. I don't love it sticky, and so I'm adding more flour as I go along. And if you're a baker, and you bake bread, then you can just kind of knead it. That same kind of motion where you're like pushing the palm of your wrist in or the palm of your hand in and just kind of kneading it in there. It's a patient process, but if you look at this, like this is Play-Doh. This is the consistency of Play-Doh. You can store this stuff for up to 6 months in a cool place. If you notice that it's in your Ziploc, I have a Ziploc behind me here. If you have it in a Ziploc like this and you notice sweat, then just add more flour to it and just knead more flour into it because it's just getting moisture and you don't want it to mold on you. And so if you add more flour to it, then it takes away the moisture. So you don't want it to be super wet, but you don't want it to be crumbly. Like you want it and you definitely don't want it sticking to your hands.
Yeah.
So if it's sticking to your hands, then it needs more flour. So go ahead and add more flour to it.
I already added more. So.
You added some more? So just in case. And I'm going to add more to mine too because I noticed when it's on the table, it sticks. I usually, when I'm in clinic for speech, I usually make this stuff like 2 or 3 times a year, depending on how much of a rush I'm in. Sometimes I'll just leave it tan. Sometimes I'll give it to my families and just let them take a big chunk because I usually make it in such large quantities. You can also add like glitter to it. I've seen all kinds of things. You can add, I've seen like glitter hearts. I've seen like rainbow glitter. I've seen all kinds of fun stuff added to this just to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more pizzazz. And it gets the kiddos excited. Everybody loves playing with Play-Doh. If you need some ideas around it, cookie cutters are great. I love cookie cutters for things like this. You can also find like the actual molds in the store. I think I have like dinosaurs and all kinds of animals of the molds.
I remember.
Yeah, they're hidden right now, but I do have them. And so you can use, I know, maybe I'll break them out. And so I got to keep stuff organized or else these two, I won't have anything to play with in the clinic. But you can do all kinds of great stuff with these, with this Play-Doh. And again, like if you see that, this is about the amount. I'm going to borrow this, Mahana.
Thank you for this big old chunk.
Wow.
Go for it.
Yo,
If you look at this,
cool, Mom.
this looks like about what you would get in a can.
Oh, this
Maybe a little more, but this is about the amount that you would get in a
smells
canister
so good.
of actual Play-Doh from the store. And again, the consistency, the texture is way better. Just to kind of give you a glimpse, like it definitely works just like regular Play-Doh. I'm using the cup as a mold, and it molds just like Play-Doh.
I added a
But
little bit
again,
of flour.
It doesn't smell like Play-Doh, and it has a much better consistency than Play-Doh. I noticed for my kiddos who have sensory difficulties, they would not play with the regular Play-Doh, but this Play-Doh that I would make, they loved it. It doesn't have the smell, and it doesn't have that same like hard, gloopy, weird texture, and so they tend to like this more. If you want to get super creative, then you can even add essential oils to it. Lavender for a calming smell. You can add lemon for a fresh smell, and also lemon's that's pretty cool, a great disinfectant. So you can add lemon essential oil to it. So again, like this is one of these kind of activities that cost pennies because mostly everybody has flour and salt and water lying around. You don't necessarily, again, need the food coloring. I've made it thousands of times without the food coloring, and it works just the same. Like the kids usually don't care. So there you have it. This is our Play-Doh recipe. You can see these people are totally involved. This is going to be like the moon sand all over again. Oh, and by the way, don't think I forgot about the bubbles. Christian, you want to go grab the bubbles really quick? I did not forget about the bubbles and showing you guys. We actually went outside last week after we let the bubbles sit for 24 hours, and we had a blast with the bubbles. So you can see we've transferred them into a smaller jar because we have a trail right behind us, and we have our pipe cleaner bubble wands. And because there's no wind in here, it's been a little bit windy out here. Because there's no wind in here, it's probably going to work a little bit better. So I'm just going to give you a quick preview and then go back to my Play-Doh because I'm actually having fun. So as you can see, it works. Our bubble recipe. Success! Oh, but I knew that. I made this 1,000 times. Again, bubbles and Play-Doh is one thing. As a speech pathologist, I make this stuff all the time anyway, just because I like to make things that I know are safe for my kiddos. Not just these kiddos, but my kiddos out in the community. And I also like to make things that I know I can send families home to do as well. And they usually come back really excited. So until the next time, you guys, thank you so much for creating together with me. We have had a blast with you guys. Thank you, Mahana and Christian, for just participating with me and showing the people that we can have a blast together. So until the next time, everybody, bye.